present in the main. Ayurvesi Verma, lecturer in Parul Polytechnic Institute, Computer Department. On behalf of Parul University team, I would welcome you all in the webinar. The agenda of this webinar is how to crack any interviews. To conduct this webinar, we have very pronounced guests with us. Mr. Devendra Kumar Pankar sir has done his engineering in computer science from NIT, Trichy, Tamil Nadu, and has vast experience of 16 years in various computer industry. Now, current sir is working with the KPIT and Industrial Private Limited. Now, I would request sir to start the webinar.
Thank you, Urvashi, for the introduction. Imagine you have a personal interview tomorrow. Question is, how would you prepare yourself so you can crack tomorrow's interview as well as any interview in future? Let me tell you the secret. The secret is most of the interview decisions is taken in the 10 minutes of the interview section. In my more than 16 years of industry experience, I have taken multiple interviews and also have given multiple interviews. What I have realized is the result is determined in those 10 minutes. What are those 10 minutes and how to answer in those 10 minutes is the topic of today's webinar. Welcome everyone to the webinar on how to crack interviews. Today's webinar is organized in a live demonstration way. We are going to see a live case study of a recruitment process, a complete interview process right from the inception to where we finalize the selection. For any interview procedure, there are 4 more sections in it. The first one is we identify a position. We search that we need a position in a company or an organization. Later, we advertise. The second phase is where we interview the candidate. The third phase is where we evaluate candidates on certain parameters. And the final, the fourth most important one is selecting the candidate. For today's webinar, we have taken a simple case study. We have taken a fictional position that we are going to create in none other than your Parul University. The position that we are going to create is visiting faculty for computer science and engineering department. What we are going to look at is someone who has industry experience more than 10 years and who can share their industry experience in actual software projects and then combine the theory experiments with the students. You all are going to be the recruiters, so please make as many notes as you can make during this procedure, and you can always share those notes to Urvashi Madam and Jiten. The criteria for this position is we want to evaluate the technical aspect as well as the behavioral aspect. We are going to ask candidates, 2 candidates in particular, most important asked questions in an interview. Same question to different candidates. And we are going to see how the answers differ. Based on the results, we are going to find out the crux of any interview process. Because once we understand the crux of any interview, we are going to finalize the last most important step to crack any interview. So let us begin. For today's case study, the interview were going to appear for 2 interviews and none other than Mr. Devendra Pankar. That's me. I'm going to play a role of 2 interview candidates. Before we start the actual interview, I would like to take this moment to give you an opportunity as a recruiter, search about the candidate, search about me. Search social media, Google, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, any information that is available about me over internet, please search. A good organization, a company, search about their potential candidates, not even days, weeks, but months in advance. For today's case study, let's take 2 minutes. I will give you 2 minutes. Find out everything about me on internet, and your time starts now. Thank you, everyone. Now, as a recruiter, when we are searching for candidates and their profile, one of the things that we always look out is how the candidate profile is matched with the company's requirement. So during the interview process, now that we are going to invite interviews for the interview, please make sure, evaluate, make some notes, write about how their technical knowledge is going to map and be useful for the position, as well as the behavioral aspect. Find out the clues for whether the person is going to be fit for in the organization, as well as leadership skills, as well as communication, and as a team player, how it's going to perform. There are some criteria of technical behavior. You make your notes because every note is going to be very useful when we are going to evaluate. So with that, let us welcome our first interviewee, and the questions that we are going to ask are the three most important questions for any interview. Let me take a step back and come back as the next interview candidate. Hello, everyone. I'm Devendra Bankar, and thank you for giving me this opportunity for giving an interview for the position of visiting faculty. Now, I have understood that this is a webinar and I have to record my answer for the interview. I've been given 3 set questions. I'm going to state the question and record my answer. The first question, tell me about yourself. My name is Devendra Kumar Dayabhai Bankar. I am from Baroda, Gujarat. I passed out in 2004 from NIT Trichy in Computer Science and Engineering Department. I was selected for Defense Research and Development Organization, Bangalore in 2004. Later on, I joined a company called Nagentra, where I was working as VoIP software engineer. After some time, I joined a company called ViewBytes, where I was working as a startup engineer. And we built a product based on cable head and server requirement. It was a great experience. From there, I joined a company called KPIT Technologies in 2006. Since then, I'm working in KPIT. I've worked with multiple clients, multiple projects, multiple teams. Last 5 years, I was in US, and just my visa got expired, so I'm back in India. I do enjoy drawing, and my hobby is also learning new things and watching sports. That was for question number one. Question number two. Tell me about your recent projects. Last 5 years, I was working with one of the biggest industrial client, John Deere. I was working for developing software for agricultural equipment, which does the planting. So you have a big farm and it does planting. There are a lot of software in it, embedded controllers, as well as a display. The display's responsibility is to process the information. It was based on C, C++, Linux, UML, Enterprise Architect, object-oriented. And my responsibility was to define and design architecture as well as build the proof of concept. Question number three. Tell me why you want to join our organization as visiting faculty. As you might have seen, I have my YouTube channel. I like to share the knowledge that I have gained thanks to my mentors, leaders, colleagues, friends. I have the YouTube channel to share the software insight as well as public speaking insight, which I am part of different organizations. But applying for visiting faculty will give me an opportunity to learn more from Parul University, one of the best universities in Baroda in India. I look forward to such great opportunity. That is the answer for the third question. Now, I would like to give you 1 minute. Whatever notes you have prepared, add the evaluation final note to it. Evaluate the candidate based on their questions. And in particular, search for anything new that you have identified from this interview. You got 2 minutes for the research about me. Now, what more I have added to the interview? And now I'm going to call up the next interview. So your 1 minute starts now. Now we are going to invite the second candidate. So please welcome. Hello everyone. Hope you all are doing great. First of all, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. We are at unprecedented, unexplainable, unimaginable time, and giving an interview for a visiting faculty throughout this webinar. It's a great opportunity. I really want to thank you for that. I've been told that there is 3 sets of questions that I need to answer for this interview, and I'm going to start with the first question. Definitely, it's about me. It's about tell me about yourself. I have more than 16 years of industry experience, but I can summarize my journey in one line. The journey of a software developer who was developing a component in one first company from right now where I can design wonders of software in world. I have learned how to create wonders of software, magical software, which can sustain the requirement of customers time after time after time. It has been an amazing journey. I have learned, I have enjoyed every bit and bites of it. To summarize, I can say I've learned two most important things in my journey. The first one is no problem is too big to solve. And the second one is no problem is too small to ignore. Given time, effort, and energy, we all can solve any problem. It's persistence, perseverance, and effort that we need to put together in the right direction, and we will achieve our goal. I've realized this concept from multiple projects that I've worked with multiple clients. And the second learning that I have learned multiple times from different projects, working through individual contributors, as well as working in geographically separated teams, part of great teams, is together we all can achieve more. Individually, we all are unique. We have different strengths. Yes, at times there is required that a project demands something that needs to be done very fast. Yes, individually we can achieve. But if we want to achieve championships after championships, year after year after year, if you want to have a consistent product which can meet customer demands every time it is released, we need not only great individuals, but we need a great team. Individually, I've realized we are like a drop of water, but when we are together, we are like an ocean. I've realized that in team, 1 plus 1 is never 2, never 3, not only 4, and not even 11. It goes beyond. When team looks at for one particular goal that an organization sets, or team's goal, the true magic starts happening. And I'm really thankful to my mentors, leaders, friends, and colleagues who have given me this amazing opportunity to be in this industry and to learn more. About my second question. Tell me about the recent project. Imagine that you are a farmer and you are having a 10,000 acres of farm. Now that can easily be multiple villages in India. I had opportunity to visit multiple customers in United States who had 10,000 acres of farm and who were using this John Deere's agricultural technologies to achieve the farming. It's a phenomenal experience because we are looking at equipment which are more than near about 6 crores of cost or more than that. I once went to a customer and that customer had, just based on the trust, he had selected the highest configuration that is possible for an equipment, probably near about 10 crore of cost. Now, looking at that confidence, the tools and technologies those were required are simply phenomenal. Multiple C, C++, Linux, Qt, all those technologies comes together to meet a customer goal. The challenge is it is one of the very high, I would say, highest data-centric application I had seen in my career. Another thing is interacting with those applications and managing and controlling that equipment, agricultural equipment, in form of a display and providing a user interface which can allow him a real-time monitoring. It's very challenging. And I had great opportunity to design the architecture for it. Recently, I've worked on multiple technologies which were, I would say it's called an ecosystem, which involved latest technologies like AutoSAR, C++, UML, and architecture. That is the answer for question number 2. Now, last question is, tell me why you want to join as visiting faculty. What I have realized in more than 16 years of my industry experience is theory and practical. Both are required. Both are two sides of the same coin, which are required to learn any concept, to realize any concept. Once we learn this theory, how it is actually applicable in real world, it's phenomenal to look at the challenges those are around it and be part of it and solve it. It's an amazing experience for me. So when anytime I had new architecture to be done or new concept to be tried, I always looked at Google and different sites for multiple theory parts to understand what is design pattern, what is architecture pattern, what are the principles, and later I would try them to apply in the real software product life cycle. It was an amazing journey to see the complexity which are involved when we actually try to build a product. Let me give you an example. In software world, there is a concept called sorting. Sorting means you are given a random numbers and you sort. Now, in 2004, in my college days, when I had to study sorting, I always learned, okay, there is radix sort, there is bubble sort, there is quick sort. But at that time, believe me, I had to learn like big O notation, small O notation, and I only had to remember if it is quick sort, then it is n log n. What I want to communicate is at that time, we built a program that can do quick sort. Question was there in my mind that now that I will solve quick sort, what is more to add to a software product? Like, okay, I've learned the quick sort, I can apply anywhere. But let me give you the second side of it, the practical applicability of it. Recently, in my car, when I was loading songs, there are near about 10,000 or more songs. Now, can you imagine how much time it will take for songs to come up and start playing? Probably it will take near about 1 mile because I will dry out and then it will start playing. Till the time it's called indexing. What it means is it's trying to sort the 10,000 songs based on different criteria, based on song name, based on artist, based on album, and other criteria. That is the real applicability of sorting algorithm that actually, as a customer, as a driver, I'm waiting for songs to load, but the n log n, the mathematical time it is taking for a sorting, it's impacting the time the songs are going to come alive. How to solve this? Probably less number of songs. But how effectively we can do it with different sorting mechanisms? Well, that is definitely one of the big challenges that software industry faces. Now, that sorting algorithm gave me insight that any concept needs theory and practical together. Now, let's say the sorting you did for one side. How about the same algorithm required when you attach a Bluetooth and you have phone book, you have list of contacts which is more than say 500, and they are again sorted. So do you want to have same algorithm at two different places and managing? It's very confusing and complex, but at the same time, it's accelerating. It helps us to realize that the theory is also very important, but at the same time, practical is also important. I have learned that this is what I would like to share to my YouTube channel and as well as my LinkedIn profile. My dream is to learn more, share more, and contribute more. With that objective in mind, when I look at the Parul University, one which has got more than 28,000 students, near about 1 million followers, and the kind of programs that I've offered, I completely believe it will give me a great opportunity to learn more, connect more, and contribute with you more. I believe that together we all can make wonders in software world, and I want to be part of it, and that is why I want to apply for the university. When I searched about Parul University, one really thing that struck me like anything was 15,000 dreams fulfilled. I really like that particular notation because that's what we all are trying to do. We are all trying to see the dreams, to believe into dreams, and try and achieve into the dreams. And I want to continue doing that. I would like to take the opportunity to be as a visiting faculty in your organization. Thank you. This is the end of second interview candidate. Now, we are going into the phase of second most or I would say, third most portion of interview, which is evaluation. Now, when we look at this interview candidates, let us evaluate them. First one, Mr. Devendra. Second one, Mr. Banker. Now, what are good sides? Both have 16 years of industry experience. Both are, we can see that they have a clear communication, they're confident. At the same time, one of the things that you might have observed is there are less fillers in their communication. The communication was crisp and clear. Filler words are something like when you are in interview or when you're in communication, you use something like you know, so I think I know, this is what, and you know. That is something was not present. Filler words disrupt the communication. Now, how to remove those? That is a different topic. We can discuss any other time. But regarding the other part, our evaluation criteria when we started this journey or when we created this position was to look at someone who has industry experience. Both of them had, but we were looking at the clues, the evidence of their experience, which can bind with Parallel University's goal, the company's goal, the organization's goal, that when an interview candidate joins, is continuing the dream of Parallel University, continuing in the same, I would say, pride, honor in terms of achieving what is a goal set from your side, from the position side. So we looked at first interview candidate, but one thing was observed was the first candidate did not give any more information than that was available to you when you did research on. I did share about where I come from, where I studied, what are my companies I have worked with, and everything is available on internet. Now, interview is a place where we have the biggest opportunity to share something about yourself which no one knows, because that is the experience you want to share, which is aligned with company's goal, which was missing in the first candidate profile. Everything that was shared is available on Google and everywhere. Whereas the second candidate, if we see the answer, they're all about telling us the journey that an individual has taken. What are his beliefs, what the candidate would like to do, what is his goal, where he wants to go, and what is his key learning. Most important part, the goal that we started with in a recruitment profile was learning about the practical experience in software industry and sharing with theory and combining both concepts. We could see that in the second candidate. And this is where the second candidate, when we are evaluating, gets a little edge over the first candidate. Although first candidate had the same answers, but it's all about communicating. It's all about sharing your personal stories, which are aligned with company's goal. And that is the crux of any interview. Every interview that we appear is like a convergence. It's like a convergence of two goals. The first goal is what company aspires to, is looking forward in candidates. The first candidate already as a recruiter, you knew everything. The first candidate shared everything that was there. So the first candidate did not move the second ladder, but the second candidate shared his view about his experience, about why he wants to be the visiting faculty, and the convergence happened. So when interview candidates converge towards the company's goal in an interview, will definitely give a great opportunity to be there with the company. Now, this was a live case study we tried. And at this moment, I would like to share something from my experience, which I have in 16 years. I've taken multiple interviews. But one interview was one of the best I have ever taken, and I will remember it forever. Let me share you about that interview. On August 4, 2018, we had a requirement in our company of technical leader. Now, when I got the profile, I looked at the profile, I searched about it, I searched about him, I looked at various sources, Google, LinkedIn, and I followed everything that I can find about the candidate beforehand. Why companies do that? Because that helps individuals to learn more about the candidate. It helps to communicate better. In 2004, when I started my career, at that time, the information were not available easily. So at that time, it was, I would say, okay to share everything, right? I am from here, I am from here. And sometimes you go in a walk-in interviews, it is okay. But now, with the connected world, the information is available at your fingertips. The skills, the knowledge, everything can be demonstrated and it's available over the internet for everyone to review. It's a great opportunity to use it to your advantage. And as well as the world knows the information is available to you, you can leverage on it. So when I got the profile, I searched about him and then I prepared my notes. When I looked at his profile, one key thing that came out of his profile was he had a YouTube channel where he had shared his game which he had developed as a part of hobby. It was very interesting to me when I looked at, because something that was there as an additional thing, and it was a complicated program that I could see. How did I find out? The candidate had shared the source code, everything over GitHub. Now, what is GitHub? GitHub is a repository, or is a place where software coders share their software for everyone to review. It's a great platform. Now, when I looked at his GitHub profile, I looked at the code. I went through his complete code structure. I went through the design patterns, design principles he had followed, and I had my questions prepared, understanding what can be or what I need to ask. Now, on that day, when I started the interview, and I asked him, my questions were only two questions. One was, how did you develop this, and what problems did you face? These two questions, when he started describing, let me tell you, within 3 minutes or less, I knew that we are going to hire him. Because just by sharing his experience, what he had done was completely aligned with what we wanted as a technical leader. He shared about the problems that are faced in real software development. And that's what, when we look at in software engineering profile, we look at whether the similar problems would be solved. One of the best interview I had taken. After that, all we did was discuss what more we can do, what is his vision, and what he can contribute into the next project. In summary, what is the conclusion of all the interview process? Once we realize the crux, that it's a convergence of company's goal towards your personal goal, the most important 10 minutes of an interview are the first minute of the questions those are asked to you. Most of the time they're asked near about 10 questions, but how you answer, how you relate, how you share your personal story in the 1 minute is completely aligned with the company's goal. For sure, you will have great opportunity to be there for the company. In this 10 minutes, that is the biggest opportunity you can take to describe something about your achievement, which can relate to company, that these are the achievements that can be very, very helpful for the company, and you will be there. Now, in those 10 minutes, what are the most important, I would say 3 to 5 minutes? Introduction, when you are introducing the first part of your interview, if it is 30 minutes, the introduction 5 minutes is very, very important. Very, very, very important. And then you have the last 2 to 3 minutes where we are concluding in terms of where you want to be and how company is going to help you. Those last minutes, how you conclude your interview, are also very, very important. That is the crux of any interview. Later on, we all can learn from there and then build on your story. We all are unique. We all have our own great experience, which are our teachers. Learn about companies' goals, align them, prepare your stories, and then you will be there for the company. So in a nutshell, if I were to summarize the complete webinar, it is one line. To crack any interview, all we need to do is share your personal stories which are aligned with company's goals. Thank you everyone for listening me. I really want to take this opportunity to thank Urvashi Madam and Jiten sir for giving me this opportunity, and also Parul University, because this is one of the biggest experience I have, an opportunity to share something that I have learned over industry in some time, and I wish to continue that. Thank you so much for listening to you. Wish you all the very best. Stay safe. Take care. Thank you. Keep learning. And if you have some questions, yeah, here. Thank you. Urvashi, Jiten, you have any questions? The team has raised the question.
Okay. Sir, one question is here. How to prepare from answer of different questions?
When we are looking at questions, there are questions in a personal interview which are generally asked. My suggestion would be to prepare the answers before, write your story, write your experience, and find out how it can be aligned with company's goals.
Okay. Sir, one another question is how to know company goal from the interview, the main goal of the interview.
When we are looking at the interview and we want to know about company's goal, go through the requirement of interview, which is posted in advertisement. Go through in detail. It has all the elements that are required from the company's standpoint. They share that and research. Research as much as possible about company, about role, about the opportunity, because that is where you will get insight about what company is looking at for a particular role. So my answer would be research more about the interview. Just like company is searching about you, research more. I would say, just like you are searching for your dream company, other side, companies are also searching for their dream candidate. So learn from that and prepare your notes, prepare your answers based on company research and role. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much and have a great day.
Same to you, sir. Thank you all.